with the mission to keep as many men on as many guns for as long as possible. We called him Doc. Welcome to Combat Vet Vision. And now your host, Aaron Chief Seibert.
Hey, welcome to Combat Vet Vision. Hey, this is a platform for myself, other veterans, sponsors, supporters, volunteers to get on here and kind of tell our stories. Our stories as combat vets is kind of like how we need to tell it, how we feel comfortable telling it. A lot of it's screened, a lot of it's pre-filtered. I think it just becomes natural because there's no place for combat in society a lot of times. So hey, I just want to say, this is a pre-recorded show due to the holidays, but I do want to say, I'll follow up and play it as best I can as a pre-recorded show. But I definitely hope everybody had a great Christmas. And I mean that with the utmost of my heart, because I understand that some will not. Some will not have a great Christmas. Some will have an awful Christmas. Some will have a very difficult time during these holiday periods. Just trying to figure out where they fit into life, how they measure life and death. These things become very, very, very real and hard. And I just want to remind everybody, this podcast is mostly, and it focuses on the PTSD Foundation of America, which I work for, Warrior Built Foundation, some other foundations that have been incredible resources for not only myself, but other combat vets. And some I haven't even been able to really vet out, but some have. But I do want to say that there's a crisis line, a helpline that the PTSD Foundation of America has available. If you call in, you're going to talk to a combat vet that's going to direct you, help you out, help you through the situation, whatever it might be, and then get you in touch with somebody in your area, kind of per se. I could pretty much cover the West Coast. I now have another buddy that works with me, United States Marine, Beckett Aguirre. Look forward to working with him. He'll be out of the Phoenix area, Arizona area. So I'll be working with him a lot closer late in the next, really until whenever. But I definitely hope it's going to be a long period of time. I look forward to seeing Phoenix get back up to a great working coordinated effort of helping the vets in that area. But even if not, I'll help out vets in any area, and we touch bases with a lot of them. I just got done doing this 2-hour focus on battle buddy checks, and this thing is going to continue this week. And the reason why is because it's super important to kind of do these battle buddy checks. If anything else, just to give that avenue of support that says, hey, I'm here. I definitely hope that you had the time to kind of stop in and say hi, talk about any issues that you might have, good, bad, ugly, whatever it might be. Whatever you feel like you need to say, feel free to do it for a little while in this platform. And afterward, if you need further assistance or whatever, we can do that. If you don't even need assistance, you just want that camaraderie and just to say hi, man, that's great too. Battle buddy checks are really important because I feel like they connect us again. They reconnect. A lot of times, even I get intimidated. I haven't talked to somebody in a long time. I really need to talk to them. I just really need to kind of throw it out there. It's kind of important to just kind of throw it out there. I never feel like anybody has left me behind. Any of my buddies that I haven't talked to in years, for whatever reason, life catches up, life moves on, life has put you in places where you need to be with the group of people that you need to be, and you don't always have the time to always reach out to all those people. So I never want anybody to feel bad about that with me, but I think we all somewhat are a little bit reluctant to kind of say, hey, but definitely do it again this Thursday, the 29th of December, right before New Year's. It's the new year. And I'd just like to say hi, touch bases with you again. Even if you did this last week on the 22nd, stop back in, give me a heads up and just say, hey, what's up? It'd be great. Just kind of reflect on the year. 2023 has definitely been a rough year for a lot of different reasons. Across the world, obviously, with Ukraine's situation. That's definitely a tough deal. And when you got a free nation, America had to fight for its independence, and we as Americans, and when I say Americans, it's a world deal too, because everybody in America is from somewhere else. America is a very young country compared to most, and the diversity in America, if you don't think that it's diverse, I would say get out of America, check it out, look around your surroundings, and see any other country that has the diversity of America. I'm pretty sure that nothing will compare. And as I travel the world, I see a lot of countries didn't have that, but America had that. It had a flux of every kind of nation pouring in there, building something for themselves to have this free nation. And in doing so, obviously, we had to draw upon the support of many other nations to do that. And we broke away, we got our independence, but we fought, and we fought hard for it. And we utilized a lot of resources from other countries, from other things. And right now, Ukraine's had to do that all this year too. I'm thankful for a lot of different things, and I'm appreciative of all the friends, support, the networks that help our combat vets out. The question that was brought to me recently, or just 2 weeks ago, was, what brings you peace? And that peace for me is integrating in our warrior groups and being able to talk to each one of these guys and just listen to their way of life, their solutions to some of those ways, their struggles in some of those ways, and their high points. A lot of times these groups are, a lot of times you want to be like, hey, I don't really need help. I don't want help. I want to help somebody else out. And I've had to learn a couple things this year. I really learned to kind of not focus on the help or to call it help, because so many people are like, oh, I don't need help. I need to give help. But help is the same meaning as camaraderie when it comes to this kind of thing sometimes. And I mean that because in camaraderie and just kind of talking and having these open discussions, freeing your mind and just being able to say what you need to say, what you have to say, without judgment, without any kind of fear of having somebody not be able to kind of relate to it or understand it. That's a huge thing. There's a big trust factor built into that. So if you're not necessarily in a group, but you feel like you need something to say and you need to be able to focus on that, I would say get into that. I would say try a group that works for you. If you look at the PTSD Foundation of America's website, ptsdusa.org, it's also in my show notes, everything too. But if you look at that, there will be a list of groups. If it's, find help, give help. There's a lot of different avenues in that ptsdusa.org, but find help, find a group. You'll be able to do that. Whether it's a family group, because our family members need it. Because that secondary PTSD rubs off on our family members. It causes a lot of problems. It causes a lot of stress. And sometimes our family deserves to be able to open up and speak about that. So these family groups are super important. Our groups are super important for combat vets. You sponsors, supporters, and volunteers out there that have been relentlessly giving your time, effort, wisdom. I think that's a super important deal too. And all year long, that has been available to me in some way, shape, or form. When our vets have problems, and I don't get to answer all of their issues, or I can't solve everything. I don't necessarily have all the answers to it. But when I start making the calls, or I start putting the word out there, when other organizations need help and support, and I put that word out there, and some of you have really reached out and grabbed a hold of that and went with it to help another organization, another situation, another veteran. It's super, super amazing. I want to say, and I know I cover the combat vet piece because that's my focus of attention. That's my focus of my own issues, my being blown up in 2006. But there's veterans out there that are suffering, that are dealing with things. Any veteran can benefit from a lot of these organizational help situations. And there's a lot of groups out there that are designed for just the veteran or first responder, and then the PTSD Foundation of America is too as well. So there's a lot of first responder groups going on, even at PTSD Foundation of America. But but veterans in general, people in general need groups, and there's a group out there for you somewhere somehow. I don't always know where to find it, but I've been looking, and I do find a couple. Project Refit is a perfect example. They run 2 groups a week for veterans, combat veterans, first responders. It's an open group on Facebook Live, in Zoom. They do one group live, and they do the other one that's shut off. And so they do it, I think, on Monday and Fridays. There's a bunch of great guys in that. I get in there involved every once in a while. 2 weeks ago, I went in and was able to sit in there and check in after I haven't done it in about a year and a half. But it's super important. And so as you reflect on this year, try to stay focused on, what are we going to do this next year to move forward in a positive direction. I know it seems like, some hope can kind of be lost, but get with your battle buddies. Let's have that battle buddy talk. Reconnect with somebody that you can move forward with. Reconnect with your family or your friends. And it sounds so simple when I say it, but myself it's very difficult sometimes to connect for real, because I feel our mission when we were in Iraq, and I'll articulate the reason for me to feel like this, is because our mission was to get through shock and awe to the enemy, secure everything that needed to be secured, move to the next point of issue, secure this, secure that. But there was a mission every single day. There was a mission every single minute. Get sleep when you can, eat when you can, but the mission was always on top. Mission took priority because a lot of lives mattered and needed to. But we lost people. And in that loss, that was not part of the mission. It just happened. So the mission has to pause for a short period of time in order to just do a quick layover, and then get right back to the mission. So your grieving time, your ability to grieve, your effort to grieve, stifled by the next minute that you have to stay alive, and you have to remain hyper vigilant, and you have to move forward in a cold, calculus way, and then you have to think about what the enemy has done, what it's capable of, and what you need to do if you come across the enemy. And that includes becoming part of the enemy in a primitive way to be able to take the fight to the enemy. And we had rules of engagement, ROIs, and you deviate from that, you're going to jail. You got other issues. You got to face the other thing. So it's not like you can make a choice to just not care. You have to still care. You not only do you have to care, but you have to be super careful, and you have to remain vigilant, and you have to look at collateral damage. And so you're protecting so many things that positive identification of the enemy is definitely a necessary thing. You can't just fire blankly into crowds and think that you're going to hit some enemy. So those focuses, those hypervigilant pieces, aren't very oftenly spoken of, but they're very huge for me. And when I say this for me is because someone may be able to relate to it. Someone might have some of these same thoughts. They probably have a lot of others to add to it too. And maybe it didn't affect anybody like it did me. But I think, combat affects each one of us somehow, some way. We don't come back. We don't go to combat and come back the same. You go to combat, you're either um, super proud and ready to, wear that badge of beast on your whole aura, and fight everybody that comes across in a negative way. And sometimes we feel like doing that, but we got to restrain ourselves. We got to maintain the status quo within society that has been directed, so as to keep the peace and moving forward in a positive direction. And sometimes it's tough, but I want to say, as my buddy said to me recently, and I put all these pieces together for the year. A couple things that stick out to me is, one, we can always check off safe, but it's important to keep on safe. So what are the tools you're going to use to keep on safe? And not only keep on safe, but be happy and proud that you have the ability to. I kind of contributed to the fact that I used to talk about how I ride my my V-Rod, 2007 Patriot Edition V-Rod, and the throttle's right there in my hand. I can always feel it. It's talking to me like, "Hey, man, I know you're a big dude, but if you want to get on it, just roll that throttle." My mind was always like, "No, no, 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 no. Dial that down, control that, because that's what you got control over." I got control over that throttle. I got control over my hand. And sometimes it feels like not. Sometimes my hands be like, I'll be looking down, I'll be like, no, that's not really what I wanted to be doing. But okay, let's dial that back down. So sometimes I got to put myself in check. I got to keep on safe, but I also got to have the techniques to do it, and I got to have battle buddies to talk to when situations occur, and I'm super frustrated, and I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't want to take that to my family, and I don't want to tell them in a way that kind of they won't understand. They won't necessarily give me the correct response to. And sometimes I feel like I'm always trying to control something, but I have to dial it down, because it's not part of society. It's not the way things were. It's the things that work, the way that they need to operate in combat. Yeah, yeah. You gotta respond. You gotta be on point. You don't get to mess around and play silly games and act unsafe. But in life you can. And sometimes when you see that unsafe, and you're just like, you want to secure that, but it gets difficult. But hey, I just want to remind everybody, hey, that helpline is out there, 877-717-7873 from the PTSD Foundation of America. It's the crisis line. If you need that, please dial in. And then get on this buddy check, this battle buddy check. And this is for our sponsor supporters, volunteers. This is for nonprofit organizations. This is for people that may even have questions, that you may just want to pop on here and say hi, and hey, you just had some questions. If you want to just sit around and listen to some guys, that's fine too. This is not a formal warrior group. This is not a group that was put together. This came as an idea from one of my guys that kind of said, hey, can we do a battle buddy check? Can we do like a non-formal meet and greet and just talk and BS and just have a good time? I said, hey, yeah, let's do that. Same guy that said, hey, I want to do the pre-group for warrior group, which is a super good idea. The pre-group is just getting everybody together and being able to just chit chat before the group. The after group is another great deal, because some guys just need to decompress. They might need to just want to hang out and talk with some of the other guys that they've touched bases with. And then, if they need to get a hold of me afterwards or any other time, I like to be available. But hey, that's all I got. I got. I'm sorry, I got one PSA before we go. Let's. Yeah, if Joey, if you're up, and Joey pushes all the buttons at the sitchradio.com that runs my show, runs the podcast. Brian Colburn, who runs sitchradio.com, he told me to do this a long time ago, and here I am, putting the word out and just trying to make things happen. So Joe, you got the PSA by chance? If he's on. If not, we'll do it. Oh, okay. Do you want to run it right now? Let's go.
Okay.
I'll be back right after this message.
Hi, I'm Mike Richmond of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs with this message for veterans. Are you seeking to honor those who have served and sacrificed for their country? Visit the Veterans Legacy Memorial. This digital platform, run by VA's National Cemetery Administration, is dedicated to the memory of nearly 4.5 million veterans interred at VA's national cemeteries, VA's grant-funded tribal, state, and territory cemeteries, and 2 U.S. National Park Service cemeteries. The memorial's interactive features allow people to remember veterans by posting tributes and comments, uploading images, and sharing a veteran's military timeline, achievements, biographical information, historical documents, and more. Over 45,000 submissions have been made to the existing profile pages since the site was launched. That's the Veterans Legacy Memorial. I'm Mike Richmond.
Hey, thanks a lot. Welcome back to Combat Vet Vision. Hey, I'm gonna get better at that. Sometime, somewhere, I don't have commercials in my show, and for the last 3 weeks, I think I've had them, so it's really cool. The VA just kind of wanted to. They actually selected me to do that, so it's good for them to do whatever they're doing. I know a lot of times, a lot of guys have some hard situations with the VA, and I know the VA cannot be curved for everybody all the time, but I definitely hope it's helping you out some of the time, and from time to time that is working out. So stay active in yourself, do good by yourself, treat yourself right, reach out as much as you can, as much as you want, as much as you need. Hit me up. This is my life. This is what I do day in and day out. I really kind of reach out to Combat Vet. I speak to nonprofit organizations. I speak to a lot of different avenues of support within that arena, and it brings peace. So whatever your piece is, work on it, find it, love it, live it, find your avenue. But until next time, and I definitely hope to see you on Thursday. Strength and honor. This is Aaron Seibert, retired Navy Chief, signing off. Strength and honor out.